Hello, hello. How are we doing? I think I'm live. I am a minute early so that I can get going on Facebook. Let me know if you can hear me, if you could drop a comment or an emoji or quite literally anything just so that I know. Okay, we're good. I can hear my audio feed. We love to hear it. Now I'm going to hit the other go live button. Okay, we're live on YouTube and on Facebook. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. Today, what we are talking about is how I plan to revive my Instagram account this July. So that's what we're here for. If you are also here to learn how to revive your Instagram account, let me know. Now, the whole reason that I decided to put this together is because Instagram used to be the place that I hung out. It was where I talked to my people. It was where I marketed myself. And for the first few years of my business, it's how I generated the most leads. Over time, where I generated leads has shifted to other places, but it was kind of like a catch-22, I guess, because since I started getting leads from other places, like SEO, referrals, that kind of stuff, I focused less on Instagram, and because of that, I got less leads from Instagram. So it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But like I said, I like being on Instagram. I like making Instagram content, but I feel like the longer of a break that I take, the harder it feels for me to get back into it, and I keep making more excuses. And in July, this coming July, I'm not doing it anymore. I am committed to reviving my Instagram account this July, and today I'm sharing how I'm going to be doing that. Hey, Locksman, good to see you. Okay, if you have any questions as we're going through this plan, let me know. I will get to questions at the end. And also, at the end, I will be sharing how you can win a one-on-one strategy session with me, either for your social media or for the rest of your business, offers, pricing, strategy, that kind of stuff. So stick around and we'll be going over that. I made a cute little Notion dashboard for this situation. If you're here on Facebook, I might not be able to see your comments. I don't know why it doesn't show me. So you can hop on over to my YouTube channel if you want to leave comments, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so like I said, I ghosted my Instagram. This is my summer social media comeback plan. So what I want to start with is why social media hasn't been working for me, honestly, since 2022, 2023. That's when I saw the shift of clients coming in from Google versus Instagram. But I still connect with a lot of people on Instagram. It's where I talk to people. I DM people a lot. I just am not showing up in the way that I want to. So why hasn't it been working? Well, number one, everyone is always saying, oh, just batch your content, or you need to put together a content calendar. I have learned that this is not necessarily my problem. I have lots of ideas. If you're on my email list, you probably saw, you may have seen that email that I sent where I have over 70 random brain dumped ideas that I have been collecting over the years that haven't been posted. Those were all of my unpublished posts. So I have the content calendar. I have a system where I'm like, yeah, I'll post this idea on this day and we'll just keep going. That's not a problem. I also have a bajillion ideas, said Airtable base with over 70 ideas. Let me know in the comments if you are also an idea hoarder like I am. And I also have schedulers and the tech in place for me to be able to schedule out the social media content. We all have that at our fingertips. You can schedule posts from directly inside of Instagram. You can do it for free on a tool called Metricool, which is another thing that I've used from time to time. All of the systems are in place for me to be on social media, but it's not happening. So what I've learned over the years is that these three things, content calendars, having ideas, the schedulers and systems, these are not the root cause of my issue. Hi, Marissa. The problem for me is that I'm doing this alone. So if we rewind, hit me. Yeah, same. That's why I'm talking about this. The problem is that I'm doing this alone. So if I think back to the last time I was consistent on social media, pre-2022, the only time that I've been consistent, is when other people are expecting me to post. So what immediately comes to mind is recently around March when I was promoting my summit, the Profitable Brand Photographer Summit. You may have joined me at that. I had a lot of speakers that were expecting me to promote them, basically. And it made it easy for me because I was like, oh, Sarah is expecting me to put up a post today. Kara's expecting me to go live with her today. Like, I need to do these things. I have to get these posts up because they are depending on me to get them up. If someone else is waiting for me to do something, like, I'm going to do it. The other times that I was consistent prior to the summit was back in like 2020, 2021. I worked with a copywriter / marketing strategist where we would get on a 3-hour call every month. And on that call, we would work on my social media copy and emails. And while she was like writing, I would go and schedule and like put the post together. And I was paying her for that time. And I knew, okay, for these 3 hours a month, this is when I'm going to be working on my content. So the only times that I have ever been consistent is when I had time with someone else and they were expecting me to be doing something, or they were literally right there sitting with me doing the thing. So that's what I've learned is I can't do this by myself. I have it. I could show you my calendar right now. I tried doing that again. I tried blocking off 3 hours in my calendar once a month. And I was like, oh, if I put it in my calendar, then I'll do it. No, doesn't get done because I'll just schedule meetings over it. I'll say, oh, I can do this later. I'll do this tomorrow. Doesn't get done because there is not another person there doing it with me. So that is why social media and creating social media content hasn't been working for me lately. So the way that I am approaching social media now versus how I used to, let's talk about how I used to approach social. And I think this is also a cultural shift that we've seen across social media in the last few years. I used to treat every post like it was the best thing since sliced bread. I would write and write and write, and it would be this beautiful novel. And I was like, yes, I'm so proud of this beautiful piece of content that I've created. And then I would post it. And only when I felt really, really happy and proud and excited of it would I post it. I also used to stress out about how much engagement the posts would get within the first 15 minutes. I would wait until noon, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, never after noon on Fridays, because that was when I got bad engagement, whatever. And I would hit those time slots on the dot because that's when I would get the best engagement. And then I also used to plan out my grid and make sure that everything fit in aesthetically. If you also did this or are still doing this, let me know in the comments because, my friend, you are not alone. But the way that social media has shifted, I'm sure we've all felt it. You don't need to do any of these things anymore. Honestly, social media, yes, quality is important, but just as much as quality is important, so is getting posts out consistently. And we don't have to treat every post like an artistic masterpiece anymore. And I know, as creatives, that is really, really hard. You want to make sure if you're a photographer, you're posting the best work. If you're a designer, you want to make the most beautiful carousels and do all of these things. It doesn't have to be like that anymore, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. We just have to get out of that mindset. Also, the way the algorithm works, we said goodbye to the chronological feed ages ago, and the way it works is your post will continue to pick up steam for hours after they get posted. It doesn't matter how much engagement it gets in the first 15 minutes. I'm sure if you talk to an Instagram guru or whatever, maybe it does, but it's really not that big of a deal, and it's not something that I am choosing to worry about anymore. Okay, that's what I'm doing. And the grid doesn't matter anymore either. Number one, because you can always archive things and hide things if you're like, actually, I don't like this anymore. So after a post has lived its life, you can move on from it. And when you're posting reels, you can go back and edit the reel covers. I did that a few months ago, actually before the summit. I was like, let me clean this up a little bit. And I just went and updated all of my cover photos so that it looked a little bit nicer for me. Honestly, I didn't really need to do it. I just wanted to. So I did. So that's how I used to approach social. I feel like we kind of went into a little bit of this. But nowadays, in July, when I do this challenge for myself to revive my Instagram account, I'm going to make it fun again. Like, I am not going to stress about, oh, did I edit this correctly? Does this carousel look okay? Like, none of that. I'm not allowing myself to do that. But I am going to make it fun to post again. Because at the end of the day, as business owners, as service providers, if we don't like to market ourselves, what is the point? Do you know what I mean? Being a service provider, our job is like 50%, if not more, marketing ourselves, and the other 50% doing the client fulfillment, doing the client work, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's meeting with clients, photographing clients, designing, whatever. We have to market ourselves. It's part of our job, so we might as well enjoy it and not treat it as like oh man, like I have to post to Instagram. Oh, I have to write this blog post. I have to do this thing. No. I get to do this thing. This is my job. I get to post on Instagram, and that's part of my job that helps me get paid. Like, how exciting is that? So I'm reframing it and reminding myself like, hey, this is supposed to be fun. We're supposed to have a good time when we do this. I am also starting to use prompts and themes to take the pressure off of decision making for me. So for me, as I mentioned earlier, I have over 70 unused, unpublished post ideas, just random little brain dumps that I have been accumulating over the past 3 or 4-ish years. And then when I go to post, I'm like, oh, it's fun. Look, I have all of these ideas, but then I get in like decision overwhelm because I have all of these ideas. So I'm trying to use prompts in July where I sat down separately. This is a separate time. I looked at all the ideas and I said, okay, let me pull out some common themes here. And now with the prompt, I'll ask myself like, oh, maybe today I want to showcase a past client that kind of pushed me outside of the box, outside of my normal comfort zone. And then I can go and look at all my post ideas and filter for, okay, what can I use now? So instead of looking at a whole thing of 70 ideas, I'm only looking for one that's going to fulfill the prompt. So it just helps remove the pressure from decision making. Laxman said, I found making it fun and enjoying the process helps a lot. Yeah, 100%. With my emails, I've been making it a lot more fun recently, and that has 100% helped, and I don't feel this like dread of doing it anymore. Now I like make it fun. I don't know, it was weird. It just clicked for me one day. I mean, I know why. It's because I've been doing work and I journal about it and I've been working on my mindset around this, but making it fun really does help. And I said this already, but it's a thing that I get to do, not have to. I get to post something silly to Instagram and hope that a potential client notices it and then books me. I get to do some silly stuff or post beautiful photos to Instagram and write about how excited I was to work with this client. Like, I get to do that. That is pretty cool. It's pretty dang cool. Let me pop back over to Facebook. Like I said, sometimes Facebook doesn't show me the comments. So if you're commenting, I probably won't see it until after the live, but on YouTube, I can see what you're saying. So now getting into my step-by-step summer social media strategy. There's five-ish steps that we have here. So first, like I said, prompts, specifically connection prompts. So like I said, I've got this gigantor database of content ideas. And if you want to join me in this challenge, you don't have to have a gigantor database of content ideas. But if you have one, great. It'll make it a little bit easier. But like I said, it leads to decision paralysis because I'll open it and be like, oh my God, pass. Like, I'll do this later. Don't know what to post. This is too much. So what I did was, like I said, I looked at my ideas. I reverse engineered them into prompts. So I looked at what are some common themes that I tend to write about, what are buckets or categories that I can put these into. And then I put it kind of on a calendar, but not really. It's like a loose calendar. Like I said, I'm not sticking to a rigid schedule or calendar, but I turned it into prompts so that I can quickly decide what to post or come up with new ideas. And the whole goal around this is to come up with things and ideas that actually spark connection with people versus posting for the sake of posting. So back when I was really active on Instagram, what was working, the type of content that was working was a lot of educational how-to content. And even though I haven't been posting as much, I've still been posting here and there. And from what I've observed from other people, the type of content that performs really well nowadays is content that shows behind the scenes and shares your perspective and your thought leadership versus like how to take a headshot. You know what I mean? A better spin on that would be why, let me think about this. I wouldn't even post about headshots. Back up. A better post, so something that I have posted in the past, is what to bring to your brand photo shoot prop list. A better take on that would be to pull a specific client and show, hey, here is my client, Stephanie. She is a website designer. Here are the props that she brought to her brand photo shoot as a web designer. Here's why we picked them. So it's still kind of a prop list, but we're shifting the tone from bring this to your brand photo shoot to, hey, here is my client and here is what she brought to her brand photo shoot because XYZ. Does that make sense? So the prompts that I've made I've basically took a lot of my old ideas and I've shifted the tone to be more of that connection that will resonate better than, a how-to kind of post on Instagram. I keep saying Instagram. This really goes for any social media platform, but Instagram is my platform of choice. And like I said, people today, they don't want to consume more like boring content. Not that everything we create has to be this like super entertaining thing, but they want to connect with real life human beings. So the more you can infuse your perspective into it, the more you can treat it like a conversation versus like a I'm talking at you kind of thing, the better it's going to be. Content is now, especially, you've probably heard this 1,000 times. I'm so sorry to be so cliche, but content these days is a commodity because of AI tools and ChatGPT and whatever. But human connection cannot be replicated. I just started thinking about this segment that I saw on YouTube of somebody who, people that are like treating AI as like best friends and whatever. Anyway, I'm derailing myself. But like I said, for most people, human connection cannot be replicated. So what we're not doing anymore are generic prompts like show behind the scenes. Like, no, we want to be a little bit more detailed. We want to think about words that get people thinking and feeling in their own brain. Like we want to provoke some kind of emotion or thought or whatever. So these are all the prompts that I have pulled out. Like I said, share a project, not just share a project or client that you're proud of, but what made them special? Why was it special? I'll get more into these in a minute. Locksman said, for one of my clients, we usually get 5K views on Reels or less. We had one that was emotional and it got, I got to put this on the screen. How do I do that? There it is. Yeah, this is good. Evoking emotion 100% works. People want to feel something. They don't want to just like learn something. They can learn stuff whenever. How do I get rid of this? There we go. Now for the kicker, one of my favorite parts. I mean, these are all playing into the system on how I'm reviving my Instagram account, but I'm turning it back into a group activity and I am gamifying it. The best way to get something done, a little bit of peer pressure. Kind of joking, but not really. So what I've done is inside of my membership, the Profitable Creatives Club, I am starting an accountability challenge, which I'll share about in a minute. Starting June 30th. We're all in this together. Basically, I decided I'm going to revive my Instagram account in July. Who wants to join me? And everyone was like, yeah, I'm in. So now it's not just me. There are more people and we have prompts and prizes and things along the way. I think that's the next thing I'm talking about soon. Now, also playing a key role in all of this is we have to lower the bar. I know us as creatives, we want it to be perfect or not at all. Okay. That's like what we're doing, but we're not doing it for this challenge. Okay. We are abandoning the notion of building a beautifully aesthetic grid. You do not need a fully fledged social media strategy, posting 5 times a week to get started. Like, no. That would be crazy. So what we're doing, we're not posting every day for the month. That would be actually nuts. We're going to start with 2 posts a week for 4 weeks. I have posted like 0 posts, maybe 1 or 2 here and there to share about these YouTube lives that I'm doing, but nothing of the content that I really want to be sharing, all of these ideas. I haven't been sharing that. So we're going to start with 2 posts a week for 4 weeks, see how it feels. I might up it from there. My old posting schedule was 3 posts a week. We'll see, but I'm not going to like immediately try to jump back into that because it would just be unrealistic. And if you want to start with 1 post a week, like by all means, go for it. I'm also, like I've been mentioning, releasing myself from the expectation of posting beautifully curated branded carousels, graphics, or an aesthetic grid. A couple months ago, I did try to revive my Instagram account again, but I was like, oh, I got this beautiful branded template from my designer. I should use this. Do you know how long it took me to put those posts together? Hours. And while it did well, I don't got time for that. I'm going to burn myself out if I try to make every single carousel as beautiful as those. Maybe once a month I'll do those if I have some downtime, but it is not serving me to spend all of this time on one post and then not post again, because then nobody's going to see my stuff. So no more. No. Only if I have a lot of downtime and I really feel like it, but I'm releasing myself from using this beautiful template. I'm sure I will use it again, but girly can't be spending an hour and a half designing this carousel. It was nuts. So later on inside of the membership, and in a minute, I'll share more about my low lift content styles that don't require you to put on makeup. We don't have to do that either. Low lift. I'm all about making this month low lift so that we can all achieve this goal of reviving our Instagram accounts. Ashley said I'm stuck in the 5 likes jail, so we definitely need assistance. Yeah, I mean, we're all going to get stuck in that jail at one point. Different Instagram gurus, I'm sure, will tell you different things to get out of it, but there's a lot of things that we could look at. So we can talk more about that. And if you have specific questions at the end, we can get to it. Number 4, rewards, because I feel like this plays very nicely into gamification. So I'm going to treat myself, and I encourage you to treat yourself as well. So for 4 weeks, I'm going to post twice a week. That Friday, if I have posted my 2 posts, I'm going to treat myself to a little latte, a little iced afternoon latte Friday afternoon. Or maybe I'm going to walk Rosie to go get a little ice cream cone because it's nice out, it's summer, it's not super duper cold. It's actually really hot here in Boston right now, but I am going to treat myself. I also encourage you to do the same. And if you have a favorite little treat that you like, let me know. I love hearing what other people like to do. I think there's a fruit stand nearby. Maybe I'll go get myself watermelon and tahini. I don't know. Something just to motivate me along the way. So after I've done it, I can be like, yes, I did the thing. Go me. And it keeps me motivated. I have to turn it into a game. Also, for my membership and for anyone joining this challenge, there will be a surprise motivation presents along the way. And anyone who completes the challenge will win a one-on-one strategy session with me. It's 30 minutes. Usually for my one-on-ones, I have the minimum time as an hour, and it's like $350, but you'll get a one-on-one, and all you have to do is 2 posts a week for 4 weeks. So what is that? 2? It's only 8 posts, right? Anyway, we can use it to strategize your fall, talk about whatever you want, pricing, offers, what have you. So that's the system. That's how I'm doing it. Now, if you're like, okay, Emily, you've mentioned a few places, like how do I get in on this? If you were like, yes, let me in, let's do this together. All of this is happening inside of my membership for the summer social glow up challenge. So my membership is called the Profitable Creatives Club. It is a monthly membership. But for the month of July, starting June 30th, because that's the Monday, what's happening is this summer social glow up challenge. So everything in the membership is revolved around this challenge. What it's going to look like are weekly co-working and coaching sessions. So we have 1 hour calls on Mondays and Wednesdays. Our Wednesday calls are going to be dedicated to co-working. So we're going to actually make these posts together. We're going to body double. You can plan out the next week's content. If you're working ahead, you can work on scheduling out posts, do whatever, but we're co-working on these posts. And then Mondays is for coaching. So if you have questions, if you need to get unstuck, if you need help brainstorming, or just talking about other things in your business, that's what the Monday coaching session is for. You'll get the Notion dashboard, which I hinted at up yonder. This guy, which has the 28 prompts that I reverse engineered from all of my ideas that really spark connection. And they're not like basic show behind the scenes or like, I don't know, showcase a client. Like they're not basic. I put some thought into these, okay? And these will help you get started if you either don't have a huge bank of ideas or maybe you do have a huge bank of ideas like me and you need help filtering out what to post. You don't have to use them if you don't want to, but you absolutely can. And then when you click into each of these prompts, I have a little bit more on like different angles that you can take, a couple of like caption starters. I don't like to call them hooks, but just things to get you started so that you're not looking at a blank slate situation. What else are we doing? Oh, there is a Slack community. So it's a private Slack community only for my members. In case you get stuck, or if you are not like a Zoom call girly, that's okay. There are men in the club too. Sorry, I keep saying girly. I can't help it. It's not just ladies. But in case you get stuck, you can drop a voice memo, drop a screenshot of what you're working on. We're there. I'm there Monday through Friday. It's like an asynchronous support situation, and we like to cheer each other on along the way. And of course, prizes. So like I said, the prize that everybody gets for completing the challenge, if you submit, I have a form for you to submit your posts, 2 posts a week for 4 weeks, you'll get a 30-minute one-on-one with me, and I have bonus presents along the way because I love a good game and I love surprises. So I'm really excited about that. There's also other things inside of the Profitable Creatives Club. You have full access to it if you want it during the Summer Social Glow Up Challenge. You do not have to look at any of it. We have a back-end curriculum, yada, yada. We're really focused on the Summer Social Glow Up for this month. And as a bonus, I just added this today. If you're a member and you're watching this and you're like, Emily, you haven't mentioned this, it's because I came up with this an hour ago. But we're going to do an optional, everything's optional, take what you want, leave what you don't want, live workshop on how to get how to get AI's help to sound like you. So a little bit of backstory on this. I have ideas and I like to write. But what I have found is that I get like 70 or 80% of the way there, and then I'm like, I'm out. I don't know how to finish this thought. I don't know how to like make this transition. I don't know how to do this. And I kind of just have to sit there for a while for it to come to me, or I have to come back to it. It just takes me some time. So what I did was I created a custom GPT. I trained it on my own content and the brand messaging guide that I got from my copywriter. I fed it my best content, and now it helps me complete those thoughts. And I will never advocate for you to straight up copy and paste something from AI into whatever you're doing, but it does help me finish out that last like 20%. And it speeds up my process so much. So as a bonus, in probably 10 days, 7 to 10 days, the exact day will be shared shortly, we're going to do a live workshop on how to make your own custom GPT. So all you have to do is bring actually, you don't really have to do anything because we'll just do it all in the workshop. But we're going to go through your best performing content. I will show you how to format it properly for a custom GPT, and we'll workshop it together so that you have one that you can use throughout the challenge to help you complete your unfinished thoughts, and it will actually sound like you. I'm real excited. So like I said, it's all happening inside the Summer Social Glow Up. I'm going to drop the link here. That's not it. It should show up in the comments shortly. That is on YouTube and then on Facebook. If you were commenting on Facebook, I'm so sorry, I can't see it. For the Summer Social Glow Up. That is over on Facebook. And now let's jump into some questions. If you have questions about how it works, just let me know in the comments. If you are on Facebook, I will come to you after. I don't know why it doesn't show me. Okay, where are my questions? Here we go. So some questions that I've gotten. Do I have to post reels? Is there dancing required? No, unless you want to. So I have never danced on reels. I have pointed, that's a little bit lower lift. I don't love doing that. Maybe I will after I get warmed up to it, but I don't really do those things. And I still have booked clients from Instagram in the past, and recently, depending on how you define a client. Anyway, people still come to me on Instagram and I don't do these things. But if you want to, go for it. The whole point of this challenge is to find the rhythm that makes social media work for you. Okay? But if you want to dance, dance. If you don't want to, don't. It's fine. Also, inside of the Notion document, which you get as soon as you join, all my members already have access to it. If you can't find it and you're watching, head to Slack. It's in the announcements channel. The Notion doc, I have a full breakdown of the different types of content formats, and they're also low lift. I, again, am not going to have you go out and do a whole photo shoot if you don't have time. You can use old brand photos. I am giving you permission I'm a brand photographer. It's okay. Use what you have right now. I'm sharing all of my low lift strategies for making this content. And then if you are like, okay, here's what I have and you still need help brainstorming, we can get unstuck inside of Slack. But there's a whole breakdown of what you can do. At the end of the day, do what you like because that's what we're here for. So I've mentioned a couple of times, is this a membership? Yes, it is. The challenge is happening inside of the membership, but you don't need to pay monthly. There is no minimum commitment. I'm not doing like a weird bait and switch situation. You can join just for this challenge and leave. You can cancel yourself. There's like a self-serve thing in the portal. Do whatever works for you. Of course, I'd love to have you stay. We're fine people. We're a fabulous community. But again, if you're here for the accountability for the month, check it out. Then leave. It's fine. There's no hard feelings. But yeah, there's no minimum commitment. Like I said, I dropped the link in the chat. Okay, that about concludes my full-on plan, right? So I have my prompts to help me reduce decision fatigue. We're making it a group activity. We're gamifying it. We're lowering the bar. We're doing rewards, and it's all happening inside of the Profitable Creatives Club for the Summer Social Glow Up Challenge. Also, the Notion doc is very poolside themed. It's very summery. I had a lot of fun putting the internal content together, so I can't wait. Okay, do we have any questions about the glow up? Do we have any questions about the plan in general, how it can work for you? Another question that I get a lot is, do I have to be a photographer to join? No, we have lots of different business owners. We have a lot of photographers because I am a photographer, but we also have coaches. I don't need this anymore. We have service providers, website designers, kind of runs the gamut. So whatever creative business that you do, you're welcome. If you provide a one-on-one service, you're more than welcome to join us. Okay. Any other thoughts, questions, or if you have other things that you want to share about what's worked for you to revive your social account, if you're on board, let me know. Let me see if Facebook will show me what's going on. No, as usual. That's okay. I'll come check them out in a minute. Okay, well, that's all I got for you today. If you have questions after, if you're watching the replay, you can still drop questions. I always come back and check the comments. So I will see you there. And I would love to see you inside of the membership for the Summer Social Glow Up Challenge. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you next time. Bye.